everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela, and in today's video we will be doing part 2 of my resume review series. I asked you guys for your resumes a couple of weeks back and a bunch of you guys have sent them in. In each video I will be doing 4 resumes to be reviewed. Before I jump into the video, I wanted to quickly talk about my Patreon. If you're interested in things like resume reviews like this, but a much more in-depth version, as well as mock interviews and overall interview prep, that's exactly what my Patreon offers, so go check it out at patreon.com/AngelaSunX3. Now let's get into your resumes. So upon first glance, this resume is very well formatted. This person is still in college, expected to graduate December 2022, so she has education as her first section on her resume, followed by her work experience, extracurriculars, and skills. So format-wise, it looks very good visually. Everything is formatted well. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the actual content though. So first thing that I am noticing is that in her experience section, she starts off each bullet by essentially telling you what the role is. She says, as a teller, I collaborate with my branch manager and 12 other team members. That's not how you want to start off each bullet. You want to start off each bullet with an action verb. So rather than saying as a teller, I collaborate with, I would just say collaborated with branch manager and 12 other team members to meet weekly metric goals and customer satisfaction and business targets. Don't say I or our or we or us. You want the bullet to just tell exactly what you do without the storytelling component to it. Essentially, this section right here can be a lot shorter just because of the way that things are phrased out. Now let's talk about the extracurriculars. Again, same thing with the bullets. Everything needs to start with an action verb. Lastly, the next thing that I am noticing is that this user included Clifton Strengths. Not everyone knows what that is, so rather than saying that, I would just write strengths and write what your strengths are. These things are all quite qualitative, so I wouldn't include any of those. I would include hard skills, like your software skills, for example, and expand on those. In addition to that, I would also include an interest section. Interests are really important for a resume. And this is because they are the one thing that actually speaks to your personality. The rest of your resume is about your education, your work experience, but you want your resume to be well balanced with things that are interesting to you. Like for example, maybe you play the guitar really well, or you're an avid mountain climber or a rock climber. You want those things to be on your resume so that your interviewer can see that you're an interesting person and look beyond just your education and your work experiences. It's something that really sets apart different people's resumes, so you definitely need to have that line item on your resume. Otherwise though, very well formatted resume, I would just change up the bullets, maybe add an additional work experience if you have, and add that additional interest line. Next resume, first things that I'm noticing, you can't really see because I blurred everything out, but the information here, like their email address, phone number, address, rather than having it all across on one line, it's all clumped up together underneath the name. Rather than doing that, I would space out each of these things and separate it with a little line like this. For example, have your email address here, phone number, address, so on and so forth. That way it's a lot more easy for someone reading your resume to actually find all of this information rather than having it all clumped up into one. Overall, the format of the resume is good. One thing that I would change is that I would take out your extracurriculars from your education. I wouldn't combine those two, and instead I would move any extracurriculars that you have down to your activities section. Or if you want to just include them as line items, you can include them under your high school or under your college if you did it just as a bullet, but no need to say that it includes extracurriculars here since you don't really go into it in depth. Additionally, let's take a look at the professional experience. So one main thing with the professional experience is that you should, for one, try to bulk up these bullets. These bullets are a little bit short. For example, this and this. They only reach about half of a page, and there's a lot more detail that you can include in it. For example, you can easily combine these two bullets: rank top 5 salesperson in NSW for December 2019, January and November 2019, and November 2020. as well as awarded top 20 national salesperson throughout the entire 2020 period. You want to combine your bullets so that they don't seem all short and snappy. You want each bullet to be able to give a lot of information. When you combine these bullets, you also want to add more bullets to really bulk up your resume. Beyond that, for your bullets, you want every single bullet to start off with an action verb. So here you said solely responsible for 7 CRM specialists. You don't want to say that. You want to say something like manage 7 CRM specialists. That shows that you're actually doing something rather than just saying what it is. Beyond that, I noticed that you included the year for each one of these, but generally you also want to include the month that you were there as well, because people don't know if it was actually 2 years or if you were here from December 2020 to January 2021, right? You want to include the exact months and years that you were at everything. So again, for your activities and volunteering experience, I would also bulk up each of these experiences, add a few more bullets, because if you just have one bullet for something, it basically shows a person who's reviewing your resume that you didn't do much in it at all and that you don't have much to say. And the very last thing I would add to your resume is a bottom section right here. This will include your interests and your skills and anything else that you would like to include, like your languages that you might have learned. This is a super important part of your resume, and it's often something that makes you stand out from other people, so you don't want to be missing this piece. Otherwise though, I think that this is a very good resume formatting wise. There's just some things that I would add in the meat of the detail. Now before I continue with the video, today's theme is college students. All the resumes I'm reviewing today are of college students, and it is a perfect way to talk about today's sponsor, which is Scholarship Owl. Scholarship Owl is a platform that uses AI in order to generate scholarship recommendations tailored to your profile and your needs. So if you are a college student like these guys, or you're in high school and looking into going to college, or you're looking to go back into school, sign up for Scholarship Owl today. It's a one-stop shop platform for lots of scholarships, and all you have to do is put your details into the platform. The website will then match you to those scholarships, letting you know when the scholarship is due, the requirements for it, and the number of applicants who have also applied. You can have it all in one place and apply easily through one click on Scholarship Owl. I wish I had this website when I was in college because it is so simple and you have everything in one place. Now let's talk about the next college student's resume. Okay, so this resume, first thing I'm noticing is this picture. It's blocked out on this page, but remember to never include your picture on your resume unless you are applying for a job that actually requires your picture to be shown, like a modeling career. Otherwise, you do not want your picture to be part of the decision process of whether you get an interview. In addition to that, I would save a lot more space up here. This is taking up about a quarter of your page, which it should not at all. It should only take up the very top portion of your resume. It should just be your name, your email address, your address, and your phone number down below that, and that is it. As a result, you can move the rest of your resume up and add a lot more to it. I really like your skills section here. I think that it covers some really good skills and lets the people viewing your resume know exactly what they are: coding languages, Microsoft Office, e-commerce, and database management. And then you go into more detail underneath. I think that's great. For your objectives, I would probably either get rid of this or make it a lot more unique and personalized, because by saying highly integrated and motivated student seeking to join your company, that could be literally any student out there. I wouldn't even include this section, or I would make it a lot more specific to you. As for the work experience, I would start everything off with an action verb and in the same tense as well. So I would say performed instead of performing, promoted, and sought out new sale opportunities. Same goes for these as well. And as for your accomplishments, I think that it is great that you included them. If anything, I would probably even move them over to your education section. For example, if you received this accomplishment during high school or during university, I would just include these bullets under each university section because it's a bit hard to read when it's all clumped up into one. In addition to that, one thing that I do think your resume is missing is a leadership experience or extracurricular experience section. You want to include what you've done in school and what you've done outside of school. You want to show that you have this other side of you besides just your education and your work. In addition to that, underneath skills, I would also include another section over here, focus on interests. You want to, again, show your interviewer that you have other passions, that you are well-rounded, and show a little bit more of your personality that will make you stand out from other resumes. Overall though, I really like this resume. It's very clean. It's just some formatting things that I would shift around, and I would really just add on that additional leadership experience section. And the last resume for the video, this is someone who will be going to a bulge bracket investment bank as a summer analyst. Congratulations, and I hope the summer internship is going well. So for this person, they honestly have a very well formatted resume. This is pretty much the typical standard resumes that you would use to apply for finance jobs, particularly in investment banking. Only small things I would change are that some of these bullets are quite long. I would probably shorten them a little bit just to make it a little bit easier for whoever is reading your resume to understand what it is. So for example, for this one, I might say, develop weekly progress reports on interactions with potential clients, presenting new methods to turn individual transactions into long-term renewal programs using targeted company models. I'm not even sure if I would include the rest of the sentence here. I might just delete it. And perhaps you could have an additional bullet point for this experience. Same with this one, support evaluation for the target through football fields, charts focus on DCF, present transactions analysis, and comparable companies analysis. That is extremely relevant for investment banking, and it's great that you have that experience working in a boutique investment bank. I would probably do a fourth bullet and just say, examine competitive analysis and industry landscape, which I believe talk about the qualitative basis that you mentioned, as well as recognize potential revenue and cost synergies for clients. I would do that rather than having it combined with this bullet here, because it becomes a little bit more of a run-on sentence and hard for the reader to follow and really grasp what point you're making. Lastly, one very small thing is that in general for your resume, I would usually try to make all of my bullets fill up at least one line just to show that you did a lot during this and there's a lot of context. For interests, I think that they're great. Again, it's always great to have a really good interest line, particularly a well-balanced one, and this person has things like salsa dancing, Seinfeld, mountain biking, which makes them seem like a very interesting person. There's even room to include another interest, and to the extent you can, I would try to fill up that line because interests are a great way to make conversation with someone during an interview, especially if you have a common interest. So to the extent you can, fill up that line, come up with another interest, because that interest could be a talking point for another interview. Anyway guys, that marks the end of this video. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in their resumes so far. It's been great going through them, and they're super helpful for videos like this and for others to learn from. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please remember to smash the like button because it helps this channel out a ton. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!